Joining us is Jason McElhaney, the fifth-year head coach of the Sharon Tigers. And Coach McElhaney, I know you got to be excited about the season coming up. You've been going through some workouts right now. What's a couple things that are encouraging to you at this point?
Well, number one, I'll start with our numbers. Our numbers are up. You know, we're north of 50 right now. We got really big freshman and sophomore classes, which, you know, can be a headache at times, but also bodes well, you know, with the future. And we've had really good leadership from our older guys, our veteran guys in the program, pulling those young guys along. So that's been very encouraging at this point for me.
As you reflect on last year, it was kind of the best of times and the worst of times. You had a very good regular season. Maybe it could have been better, but a huge playoff win over Fort LaBeouf, and then that just excruciating loss to Grove City. How did you evaluate the 2022 season?
Yeah, like you said, you know, up and down, roller coaster. I mean, we kind of found ourselves. We were in a bad place. You know, we're not afraid to admit that after the Sharpsville game. You know, they put it on us bad at our place on television and just wasn't good. And that was a tough week. And I thought we kind of found ourselves against Slippery Rock. And, you know, that kind of became our identity from that point forward. And, you know, you talked about the LaBeouf win was a good one because that's a good team. And then, you know, the loss for us and the manner in which we lost that playoff game has been a major motivator for us throughout the off season and, you know, even through the summer and going into camp here. So it's something that sticks with us and something we've used as, you know, the things that we need to do to not allow those things to happen again in the future. You know, giving up a lead like we did as late as we did. You know, that's something that is definitely sticks with us and will continue to stick with us throughout.
The challenge of replacing Mikey Rodriguez and Javier White I'm sure it's been a challenge, but you have a plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, that's something we've evaluated throughout as soon as those guys left. And, you know, we will not make wholesale changes in the way that we attack people on offense, but we'll certainly adapt. You know, we go from having, you know, a guy like Javier who can go the distance at any point to having three guys that are more physical type backs. You know, but in that same token, we think, you know, now that, you know, we're going to use the speed on the outside a little more with our receivers. The quarterback will continue to run the ball. But, you know, I don't think a guy like Mikey is just so unique in his skill set as a quarterback. So we have had to adapt that just a little bit, but those guys will be missed defensively too. You know, Mike anchored us down in the middle, and then Javier was really good as an outside corner. So we have had guys step up. We will do things more by committee, and we will likely throw the ball a little bit more this year than we did last year.
It seems like, at least by who you have returning, one of your strengths will be your offense and defensive line. Talk about that a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have some veteran guys up front, 3 out of 5 up front, and, you know, could be 4 out of 5 soon. You know, Stone Root's coming off a wrestling injury, and we're hoping to get him cleared soon. So could be 4 out of 5 starters up front who played a lot, and we have maintained those same blocking schemes. So we're excited about those guys and the people we've added to that mix. And then, you know, from a defensive perspective, you know, we do return a lot over there, and we think that as long as you know, we can fill the couple holes up front with Mikey Mazurek and Austin Perlick. You know, we think that those guys behind them are really good players, and we will take a step forward defensively for sure.
At this point, I know it's early. What's in your mind? What's the strength of this football team?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. It is. I think we're a balanced team. I know that's not interesting for you, but like, I think that right now, as it sits, you know, nobody's looking at Sharon and going, well, there's that guy that we've got to take away, or there's that guy, you know, defensively, we got to get him blocked. I think we are more of an 11-man unit on both sides. And we'll be able to be more balanced and spread the ball around a little more, and keep people from kind of maybe loading up on one aspect of what we do. You know, could a star emerge? I hope so. But right now, I just think that we're a group of guys that are very balanced, and we can threaten you kind of, in all parts of the football field. That's the goal, and that's the aim, and that's kind of what I'm seeing so far.
I think most of the coaches in Region 3 last year, when that region was revealed, it was more of a shock and awe type setup. Now, have you learned anything about playing in this region that you hope to maybe use this year?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to be on it every week. And you can, hard to say here. Like, there's so many rivalries on that schedule, right? We have our two very, very local ones, but then also that budding rivalry with Grove City that since they joined the league a few years ago, and with Slippery Rock, and the Wilmington and Greenville ones are pretty historic going back to the 90s. So, it's just every week. I guess what I would, to answer your question the right way is, you can never get too emotionally high or low off of the game you just played, because you have to immediately refocus on the team at hand, because every one of these is such an intense rivalry and important region game. So you've got to remain a little more even keel from week to week, whether it's a big win or a tough loss.
You open up the season against the Shannick again. We know how good they have been. What's a couple thoughts on this matchup?
Just from what I can gather, they're going to be big. They return a lot up front. They have really good size. They play a very physical brand of football. They do want to spread you out, but they want to run the ball to start. Our thing last year going up there, and I own it totally, was I didn't have us in a physically fit standpoint to be ready to play. And we certainly learned our lesson from that. And they wore us down real quick. So, we know from that perspective, we got to be ready to go, be physically ready to go. But we know we got to stop the run, number one, and not dig the hole we did last year. We dug a hole to a point where we had to do things we didn't really want to do, in terms of, throwing the ball a lot more and so on. So, we're going to be ready to go. We're going to be in shape. And we know it's going to be a physical football game right from the start.
Coach Jason McElhaney, we appreciate some of your time here today. Wish you and your team the best of health and the best of luck. And I know we will cross paths multiple times this year.
I appreciate it, man. I look forward to seeing you soon.